What is up, everybody? Welcome to Targeting Winners National Championship Preview. I think it's too early. Darren, do you think it's too late? I am declaring, even though today is college basketball season or the tournament, I'm declaring football season underway officially.
Yeah, it's like the college football's version of March Madness. I mean, I know it's not early. We discussed this last time. Like 3 hours after Indiana won the whole thing, these odds were out. We're behind. Shame on us. We suck. Never too early to throw out some. I mean, we've had 3 shows without bets. I mean, we're a betting show. What are we doing?
That is true.
But tonight, we rectify that. We've got.
Side note, I did have showed up at a college basketball party today. $20 for a pull. Reached my hand into the bag. Duke.
So, not a bad pull.
So if they win their first, but it was only for the first round. So I guess if they win by the biggest margin, I win the pool or something. I don't know. I haven't watched a single game.
Can I just say you're not going to win the pool?
No.
They played Siena, which you guys are very familiar with.
I saw that.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
They only won by 6, so you're not winning.
They only won by 6. So
yeah, Siena was up 11 at halftime.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Huh?
Yeah. Funny is, I even told the guys at the party I'll be rooting for Siena because I hate Duke. It's one of those things.
Yeah, right.
I'm the guy. If they did this for the football thing, I'd pick Miami. I'd be like, I don't want Miami. I haven't watched a single college basketball game all year, so I'm like, are they still good? Duke is usually good.
Duke is very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Duke is
I know Coach K left a couple years ago, so I don't know who's coaching them now, but Bobby Hurley, maybe Christian Layton, or who's the coach?
Some assistant who was under.
I could not tell you. I don't know.
Schreier, John Schreier, maybe I think his name is. I don't know.
Hey, Michigan's a 1 seed, so that's all that matters. We're good.
All right. Well, it's football time. The hell with basketball. One of the best conversations of all the whole year. Who's going to win a national championship? Darren?
Yes.
What are your initial thoughts about the college football national championship this year?
Well, just for the show in general, I'm pretty excited that we're finally back to doing some previews, and we got to break down some teams over the last couple of weeks. Opening up the apps and seeing that there's actually odds for this. Very exciting. So I know you guys all got bets. So I'm going to ask you guys, we all sit there, we open our apps, we see the numbers, we look at the teams. Oh, they could win. No, I don't want them at that number. Oh, that's a good long shot right there. Whatever we do to think about it. Tim, we'll start with you because, you're the brains of this operation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's the brains of the operation, and we're screwed. Jesus.
Yes, we are. So you open up your Hard Rock app because that's what you have in Florida. You look at all these teams. You start taking your notes. What's the one thing that you have to have in a team before you even consider putting your hard-earned money down?
Well, depending on who you talk to, the most important position in sports, the goalie in hockey or the quarterback in football. So quarterback only. That's the first thing I look at. If they don't have a quarterback, keep moving. Don't even, that's for me, that's most important. I would say second being a pass rush, but most important, quarterback.
I agree with that. Pete, your thoughts? What was quarterback your top criteria? Or is there something else you factor in more importantly than that?
I mean, quarterback's important. I think depth of talent. So you're looking for, universities that can pull like a really deep talent pool because they can overcome a lot of things if they have a deep talent pool. Now, obviously, overcoming a bad quarterback does not happen, but just having depth at positions all across the board is important. So that's what I look for first.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of those things, but yeah, I'm like Tim. I have to see a quarterback, preferably one that's got at least a year of experience under their belt. Also, playing in a conference championship or a playoff game would also be beneficial. You go back to 2022, where J.J. McCarthy, got upset by TCU in the semis, but he had that experience. 2023 rolls around, guy wins the whole thing. So, if they have the same quarterback, that's great. If they got one in the portal, then I need to see the same thing out of that portal quarterback from wherever he was last year as well. So, and what it does for me, basically, like Tim said, if you don't have a proven guy, like I look at Alabama, I'm just like, they got 2 guys who could potentially be good, but I'm not so sure a 9-game SEC schedule is what you want to throw somebody out there and expect them to win it all. So while I don't completely eliminate Alabama, it's certainly a knock against them when I start breaking it down. But all right, enough of that. Tim, it's our first preview show of the year. We got about 15 or 16 more of these until we get to week 0. I don't know about you, man, but I can't think of a better way to start this preview than by listening to our Michigan man.
Oh, boy.
We have to say something positive about the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Our first team.
Currently sitting 7-1 at DraftKings and the favorite at FanDuel at plus 550. So, Pete, floor is yours. Can the Buckeyes win it all? And if so, are you betting them?
God, thanks, man. I appreciate that start. It's just what I wanted to start talking about in March. Yeah, I mean, this is so I just talked about depth of talent, right? Talent depth. This is a team that always has depth. And that's the issue with them, right? So they have elite recruiting. They have depth at all positions. They have a proven system, consistent performance, right? So with this team, you can always expect that. Ryan Day has proven himself as a quality a quality coach, which I never doubted, right? With all the stuff that happens with Michigan and Ohio State and all that, I've always thought Ryan Day was a quality coach, and he's always been relatively in the box in terms of being, reasonable. So from that perspective, I think it's hard to ever discount Ohio State. So from that perspective, high floor, quality talent base, elite recruiting, always in play, always elite in the Big Ten. So it's hard to overlook any of those things. So they are always in play. Now, some of the concerns from the betting perspective, because that's why we're here, right? I think they're overpriced, right? That's my biggest concern here. So why I would not bet on them is that quarterback inconsistency is my biggest issue going into the season. So I'm not entirely sold on what the quarterback is going to provide for this team. So execution issues potentially. I don't think they have really responded in the last 2 years in pressure games all the time. Clearly they have at times, but it's been inconsistent. So that's an issue for me. Overall, great talent base. To me, the issue for them is, can they step up at the right time? They have to navigate the Big Ten season. Yeah, they'll get in the playoff, but can they consistently perform at the right time? And I'm not sure they can, and they're just overpriced right now. So from the betting perspective, I wouldn't bet them because they're overpriced. So they will be there. They're going to be they'll play themselves into maybe the semifinals, and I would not be surprised by that, but I'm not sure they are a championship contender. So that's my perspective.
Tib, your thoughts?
Yeah. It's the warm, fuzzy feeling. It's a nice, safe bet. I mean, every game that they play in, they're probably going to have, if not the best 2 players on the field, at least one of the best players on the field, again, no matter who they play. It's, like he said, not a good value. Safe bet if you want to feel warm and fuzzy for, they're going to be this way for the foreseeable future. I'd imagine next year we'll be talking about them pretty early in this show next year as well. Yeah. I like to swing for the fences for these big futures bets. So, no bet here for me. I don't know, Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, too short a number, even the 7-1 at DraftKings. And again, shop around. We're just giving out DraftKings and FanDuel because they're the 2 most widely available apps. But, Pete talked about the quarterback we had mentioned on a previous show. Kind of get familiar with who the backup is. Well, their backup transferred to Louisville. So I don't even know who their backup is at this point. Exactly. So shame on me. Lots of defensive losses. Caleb Downs, obviously the biggest one. Their top 2 linebackers, Styles and Reese, are gone. And this schedule, I mean, good God, man. I mean, you get Oregon and Michigan at home, and Pete, not to curse your team, but I am actually kind of high on Michigan this year. And, the Ohio State-Michigan game's always, you never know what's going to happen. But, I mean, just look at these road games. USC, which is supposedly improved, Texas, Iowa, Indiana. I mean,
that's tough.
If they're in, I'm not going to say that they're not going to be in because they do have a crap ton of talent still on this team. But, you just made Matt Patricia like the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country. And I don't know. He just doesn't have he's got talent, but nothing like the defense that he had last year. So with that schedule, there's probably 2 losses in here. Do they get in at 10-2? Yeah, I think they would because that schedule is so tough. And Pete also mentioned Julian Sayin. I mean, he looked great against teams he's supposed to look great at, But, do we remember Miami? Do we remember Indiana? Teams with really good defenses. He did not look like he was a championship winning quarterback. So with this number so low, I'm passing on these guys as well. But I think this is a 10-2 team. They'll get in, maybe host a game and win one. But, I think I agree with Pete. Semifinals is like their cap.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Next up,
Haas Longhorns 7-1 at DraftKings, plus 750 at FanDuel. They'll be working in a new defensive coordinator. Tim, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the Longhorns?
Well, they obviously have, big talent, big expectations. I would say the big question for them would be consistency. They got what's his name at quarterback? I forget his name. I don't know. They don't mention him at all.
Something or other. I don't remember.
Yeah. The Dolphins are already tanking. They assigned the perfect quarterback to tank with to make sure they get him. But I would say, yeah. So, it's a fair number, 7-1, just because of the consistency. I consider a bet here, but, the last game this year is at Texas A&M this year. So, I don't know if that may affect their seeding or if they get in. But, they have elite talent, just consistency. So I'm going to pass on these guys. Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, I like this team better than Ohio State. That being said, I don't want them even at plus 750 at FanDuel here. Obviously, Arch Manning, the big name coming back. Ryan Wingo's back as well. I love their two running back additions. Hollywood Smothers, one of Tim's favorite running backs, and Raleek Brown from Arizona State. I think offensively they're going to be awesome. Defensively, a couple losses that concern me. Anthony Hill and Michael Taffy, the two biggest ones. And again, their schedule is almost as bad as Ohio State. They host Ohio State. We discussed that already. Ole Miss is on their schedule. They've got the neutral game against Oklahoma every year. They go to Tennessee, A&M, LSU. It's a pretty. I guess every SEC schedule is kind of rough, but there's some teams on the list that don't have a bad SEC schedule. Again, short number. If they're in the semis or the championship game, wouldn't surprise me one bit. But at 750, like Tim said, if I'm doing this, I'm not putting a lot of my bankroll in the futures markets anyway, unless it's like a win-loss total or something. But wouldn't surprise me if they won, but I don't want them at plus 750. Pete.
Yeah, this is a good team. I would say this is one of those situations where if not now, when? Right? This is an elite team. And they could still miss the playoff due to that tough schedule because they do have a tough schedule, right? And what happens with Sark if they don't make the playoff? What happens to Sark? Right?
I was going to say we did, if not now, when we did this last year at Penn State, and then we all know what happened there. Did we just curse Sark?
And I think it's the same situation here, right? At the end of the day, you could not be more stacked to get to the playoff and make a run than Sark is right now, right? You have an elite roster across all the units. You have coaching continuity across most of the coaching seats here. Balanced offense and defense, right? You have playoff ready depth across this team. So when else are you in that situation? There are very few circumstances where you have this type of team ready to go with continuity in coaching, quarterback, high-level talent. You're in the SEC. You have a tough schedule, but right, if you're going to win the national championship, this is what you've got to run to do it. So it's their time or it's bust, right? At the end of the day, if they don't do it, if they flame out and don't make the playoffs, Sark is out. If they make the playoffs and flame out there, then the question is Sark out? But I like Sark a lot. I think he's strategically, I really like the guy from the offensive side, but his team has not performed when they really need to in those really tough games. This is the year to prove it. Do it or don't, but this is the time to do it. So I'm really interested to see what this team does. Arch was not ready last year. He's got to be ready now. It's time to show. So either do it or don't. But this is the time, right? It's too short of a number to play them. So this is not a bet to make here. But from the football fan perspective, I want to see what they're going to do. So
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what happens here.
And you mentioned Arch. He really picked up his play that last half of the season.
he
We
did.
didn't even mention Cam Coleman coming over from Auburn. That might be not only the best non-quarterback portal addition, might be the best portal addition out there. I mean, like you said, Texas definitely loaded, but too short a number. I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Here
we go.
Let's move on. We got the Fighting Marcus Freemans.
Fighting Marcus Freeman's
Notre
also
Dame,
7.
plus
Apparently, every
50.
favorite at DraftKings is 7-1. Notre Dame, no exception. They are also, along with Texas, plus 750 at FanDuel. See, like, I'm torn because I think this team can actually win it all. I just don't know if Aeneas Williams is the guy. I mean, we're not going to replace Jeremiah Love or Jadarian Price. We all know that. But if you believe the Marcus Freeman talk, Aeneas Williams is the real deal. He had some good games last year, but that's a big position when it gets to quarterfinal, semifinal, and finals time. I need to see it before I give my stamp of approval on the Fighting Marcus Freeman's here. But I have no problem with the defense. I have no problem with CJ Carr. I think their receiving room is actually going to step up and be excellent. They got a couple of Ohio State transfers. If you're going to get receivers from anywhere, you might as well get them from there. Just show me some kind of a running game. And honestly, I don't know how much motivation they're using the snub. I don't think they got snubbed. I don't think they deserve to be in. But they could go out there and beat everybody by 40, and it wouldn't surprise me. But until I see a running game, this number's too short. So as much as it pains me, I'm avoiding the Irish with a bet. Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Notre Dame is the eternal bridesmaid and never the bride, right? They are a really good team with a very good talent base that is always in contention, but they're never quite good enough to beat the elite teams. Like if they play an elite team in the championship game, or if they're in the semifinals or something, they just don't match up, right? They're just lacking somewhere. Their quarterback is lacking. Something's lacking, right? That's the issue with Notre Dame. It's been the issue with Notre Dame for some time. Like they just can't get the entire package together. Like from the positive side right now, their defense is solid, consistent. Their schedule is positive in terms of getting there. They're physical. I love their coach. Right? All day long, right? Experience. My concerns, QB, I think you already talked about that. Inconsistency, but their big game struggles. Like, I don't know how many times I bet on Notre Dame in big games, and they just look flat. And I don't know what it is. It's not the coaching. There's just something missing there, and it frustrates me because I'd love to see this team win a natty. As much as it's funny, right? Like Darren and I'm a Michigan guy. He's a Notre Dame guy, right? We spent years when we were younger yelling at each other with our teams playing against each other. We hate each other's teams. We would yell at each other about it. And yet I don't have any hatred for Notre Dame. I would love to see them win a natty now. And I just don't know if they're going to do it anytime soon because they're always missing something. And it's frustrating to me because I'd love to see them do it. And I think that's still the case. I just don't know if they're the whole package to win it. And so I'm not sure they're worthy of betting on here. So that's my perspective. So anyway.
Tim?
Yeah, well, they're going to be in the playoffs. I mean, they can easily finish that schedule and be ranked number 12. So, I mean, it's almost like an automatic bid this year. So they're going to be there. I mean, they're well disciplined. They're well coached. I mean, just once they get to the playoffs, can they beat like multiple elite teams in a row? We'll see. That's all I have on them, really.
I just, Pete, had mentioned about Marcus Freeman. I mean, he's doing the media tours and every interview he's been on the last couple of weeks. He's taken responsibility for last year not getting in. He's like, we left doubt. In every interview he's given, he's talking about we're not going to leave any doubt this year. So, I mean, they're giving 16.5 to Wisconsin in week 1. Just lay it because,
I mean, they're going to beat by 30. I mean,
Marcus Freeman's the kind of guy that would pull over on a busy highway and help you change your tire and then take the tire iron and like club you over the head until he's happy. I don't know. I just feel like he's just going to be strolling the sidelines with the same demeanor. And if they can win every game by 40, I think they're going to. I mean, style points matter when it comes to the committee and they rank them. I just think if Aeneas Williams is the guy, they've got a shot. But again, even if he is, this number's too short. I can't.
Until they face off against somebody like Texas in the playoffs or somebody like that.
Exactly.
And then what happens, right? And I just need to see them step up and face a team like that and do something.
Right. All right. Let's go back to the Big Ten since they dominate everything. The Oregon Ducks, 9-1 at DraftKings and up to plus 850 at FanDuel, replacing both their offensive and defensive coordinators. Pete, is that problematic, or do you think Oregon can win it all?
Yeah, that is problematic. It's the only reason why I didn't pull the trigger on Oregon. I think Oregon is an elite upside team here. Their talent, once again, another team with a talent base, strong recruiting pipeline, physical roster, balanced team, high ceiling, right? Playoff experience. Like, I love their head coach, right? I love this team. Like, this team's got moxie. They step up. I love this team. I think they can play with anybody, anywhere, at any time. However, right, you nailed it, right? This coordinator turnover scares me. I wanted to pick Oregon. That was going to be my pick here for this show today, because I really think that they have the caliber, the players. I think most everything is in place, and I do think that elite quarterback potential as well. I think everything is in place here for them to do it. I am just a little concerned about the coordinator turnover. Now, if that plays itself out well, then this team is a beast, and it's going to be really, especially, I think this team is going to get better later in the season. I think they're going to look a little clunky and a little maybe disjointed early in the season. But I think as the season goes on, especially later in the season, there's nobody who's going to want to play Oregon. I think this team is going to be really, really good later in the season, and there ain't nobody going to want to play them in the playoffs. That's my perspective on them. I think they're going to be a really good team. So from that viewpoint, I wanted to bet on them because I think they are going to be very, very dangerous in the playoffs. The only thing that stopped me was the coordinator thing, because it's a big unknown that I don't know what's going to happen with that. But honestly, I would not for a minute. Anybody who wants to bet on Oregon, you should have at it, because I truly think that there's a lot of upside here. So that's my perspective on them.
Tim, your thoughts on the Ducks?
Well, if they can withstand the physical matchups, they do have a good backup quarterback. The Nebraska kid went up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sutton Havenson, the main guy, they'll just reload with the new kid. Definitely enough talent to do it. So if they don't, it's not for a lack of talent or a lack of uniform combinations, but
right.
So
they change at halftime, put another one on.
They'll win the best dressed team award. So all right.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, well, I don't get a say on the Ducks. That's really
no, you don't get a say on the Ducks.
Is your hat on too tight? Come on. But basically, the good thing is what you guys already said was basically what I had in my notes. Pete talked about the quarterback and the talent that they have, and the loss coordinator is concerning. And Tim mentioned that they actually do have a legit backup in Dylan Raiola from Nebraska. Schedule's not terrible. Michigan and Washington come there. Tough road games, USC and Ohio State. Maybe some issues there. But we talked about Cam Coleman possibly being the biggest portal addition. Perhaps the biggest person not going into the portal and staying put was Dante Moore. And if he's not sitting in New York as one of four guys waiting to see if he wins a Heisman or not, something's going to be really wrong here. But yeah, I did like Oregon as well. But yeah, Dante Moore has a great year. Now he's got to learn something under a new offensive coordinator. You don't know what this defense is going to look like. They did get Coy Perrick from Minnesota. I think that's a great add to their secondary. But I like them. I didn't fire on them. I went a little longer shot here down the board, but I agree with you guys. If they won it all, no surprise.
I would not be surprised at all. Man,
Had a comment asking about Racetrack Ray. When's he coming on the show? His bet would probably be Oregon all for the college football.
Why not? Oregon all. That's right.
So let's move on. We got Indiana.
All right. Next, we're sticking in the Big Ten. Indiana Hoosiers, 16-0, last year's national champions, the Fighting Curt Cignettis. Also, stop me if you've heard this before, 7-1 on DraftKings, 8-1 on FanDuel. Tim, I know you love you some Indiana because they beat your Miami U in the title game. So
that's right.
Indiana repeating or no?
I mean, they Google him. He wins. They could. I mean, they're no longer the Cinderella team. So that'd be the one thing people are, when you win, you're going to get everybody's best game every week. Let's see if they can withstand that. So the expectations are obviously sky high. Love the coach. No nonsense kind of guy. Maybe a modern day Bill Parcells, if you will. But yeah, love the team, love the coach. They could do it. I would not be surprised if they did it. I wouldn't be shocked. I got them at plus 800 here. Not placing a bet on them, but love everything about them. The schedule doesn't look too horrible either. I mean, there's one rough stretch here in the middle, but
yeah, I'm going to disagree. They're not repeating. I mean, one is just so damn tough to do, but just a ton of losses. I mean, God damn, Mendoza, obviously the biggest one. D'Angelo Pons, they lost their two wide receivers, Cooper and Surratt. Kale Kamara is gone from that defensive line. I do like the Josh Hoover addition. I will say that I think that might be the slightest of upgrades over Mendoza, and you guys can tell me if I'm crazy there, but I mean, that dude had to carry the load at TCU. He is not going to have to do that here, so that's helpful. I am concerned about his turnovers. Cignetti, he's not down with the turnovers, and this dude's had like double-digit turnovers, interceptions the last 2 years, so that needs to – Tim, we will talk about how bad Florida State's going to be this year. Because
yes, we'll get there.
But, yeah, I mean, I love the addition of Nick Marsh to replace those guys that are leaving. And, yeah, Tim mentioned the schedule. They do host
Ohio State. Inside the family. Look at that.
Jeez. But then going to Michigan and Washington, the two teams who I think are going to be really sneaky good this year. So they'll probably get in, but they're not repeating. I don't want nothing to do with them. Pete?
Well, number one, nobody repeats. That's not going to happen, especially coming out of the Big Ten. Come on. You're not coming out of the Big Ten with Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State. They're all going to have their sights set on this team. That's not going to happen. So you're not repeating. Number two, Mendoza was so good last year. I don't care who you bring in behind that. He was so good. He was so clutch. Like, that's hard to replace. I don't care how good you think somebody is behind him. That's irrelevant. The dude was clutch. And to replace that, that's hard to do. So, no, they're going to be a good team. They'll be fine, but they replace, and I love the coach as well. Fantastic, but you're not repeating. So that's not happening. So that's out. I would never bet on nobody repeats. So that's out.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to do.
So we all hate Indiana. So, yeah, bet on them to win it all because
nobody repeats.
All right, moving on. Let's talk a little SEC here. The Georgia Bulldogs, 11-1 at DraftKings, 10-1 at FanDuel. God, I hate to say this. I really like this team. If they can find a couple of people to catch the ball and remember what it's like to actually sack the opposing quarterback, this team's possibly winning this conference again. At the very least, they'll be playing the conference title game. Bye week is certainly possible. This SEC gauntlet, no. They host Oklahoma. They go to Alabama and Ole Miss. They don't really get anybody else tough on that schedule there. I mean, if you believe in Florida, okay, that's one thing. But, I mean, look at that schedule. I mean, come on. For an SEC schedule, Kirby got must have cashed in some favors or something. But this team could win it all. I was going to bet these guys, and I believe, Tim, you were going to do the same thing. But, again, I went with a little higher odd team discussing down the line. So I like them. If you wanted to bet them, I would not blame you one bit. I could certainly see him at least playing for the championship at worst. Pete, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously it's Georgia. They have quality talent, elite defense, top recruiting. They're going to be physical. They have the culture in place. They have depth. All those things are there. Until I see an answer at quarterback, like a true answer at quarterback that's consistent, that is semi-elite, I don't think they can win, elite games late in the playoffs. So maybe, right? So maybe we'll see that play itself out, but I've not seen it of late, and I do not think we're going to see that anytime soon, but I could be wrong, right? We could see somebody step up, but I don't see someone in their roster right now in the quarterback position that excites me. But I could be proven wrong. But I just don't see it. And we the first thing Tim said, and you agreed with, was quarterback play number one, right? Well, who's the elite quarterback on this roster? Who's going to carry them through the playoffs? Who's the guy that's going to lead them to the natty, right? I don't see that guy. I really don't. So that's fine and all, but I really don't see that person on this roster. So to match up against the other quarterbacks we've talked about, who's going to match up with Arch? Who's going to match up with the other guys? I don't see the guy. So that's my issue with them, is they have a really good team, really good depth, really good defense, but they don't have the quarterback, to me.
Right.
Wow, Pete, very anti-Gunnar Stockton. I did not have that on my bingo card. Tim, thoughts on the Bulldogs?
Well, obviously they're very well coached, and they're going up against like Arch and all that. They do have a Kirby Smart coach defense. And, I saw Kirby Smart with the Zingers. They had some SEC coaches meeting, and he asked, Steve Spurrier was there. He said, yeah, your daughter's must be a great realtor in Gainesville, because John Summerall's the fourth Florida coach I've coached against since I've been here. So he's bringing the Zingers. So, it's almost tempting to bet it, because you're getting 10-1 with Georgia. I mean, I can see how it's very attractive. I wouldn't turn my nose up at betting here, but I did not. So, but yeah, I think Georgia would definitely be one of the teams there at the end, where they can get over the hump with the quarterback play. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, moving on to Tim's favorite school, but we're not going to start with you, man. The Miami Hurricanes, 15-1 at DraftKings, 13-1 at FanDuel. No coaching changes or coordinator changes here to report. Lucky for them. Pete, is the U back? But more importantly, are they going back?
I mean, they have talent. I mean, it's another school that draws talent, right? So they have depth, they have talent, they have speed, they have playmakers, right? We expect athleticism from them. So there's a lot of upside, right? But Miami is like, Tim talks about all the time, like Miami is, they're a caricature of themselves. They are inconsistent. Right, they can have amazingly great games where they look unbeatable, and the next week they come out and they look like they don't even know what the hell they're doing, right? And that is Miami, and I think that's the issue with them. So yeah, they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll make the playoff. I actually do. I think they have the talent to do that, the offense, the playmakers, all of that. But they're inconsistent. Coaching, we've talked about coaching many times before. And all of that, I just think that they are too inconsistent to make a run through the playoffs. I think last year was their year to do it if they were going to do it, and I think they missed that opportunity. So so they might make the playoff, but they are not consistent enough to win multiple games in a row against really good teams. They're likely to shoot themselves in the foot or do something stupid, and that's just what Miami does. So, which makes Tim happy. But at the end of the day,
copying my notes.
Yeah, to bet on them, I mean, it's a little frustrating because you don't know what you're going to get. So so that's my read on Miami.
Especially with the quarterback play. Is Mensa really an upgrade from Beck?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
there we go.
No.
So, hopefully Cristobal keeps Cristobaling a couple more times. It's nice to see them actually leave Florida more than once or twice this year. I think they got at Clemson, at Notre Dame, Hopefully it's snowing in Notre Dame. When's that game? Is that like late October?
Sometime in like late October, early November.
Hopefully winter comes early and there's like 3 feet of snow on the ground, 10 degrees. I don't think even at Notre Dame, I don't think that's possible in October. I have to wait till November for that. But yeah, one of the rare occasions I'd be rooting for Notre Dame. But yeah, that's what I got. Consistency, quarterback play, and waiting for a crystal ball to screw it up. But they got talent, everywhere. You can't throw a rock without hitting a good football player in Miami.
The only problem I have with what your guys are waiting for Cristobal to Cristobal, he didn't really Cristobal last year.
He didn't. I was scared.
He did not.
Carson Beck. That's
what I said. He's finally turned a corner, and he's not going to Cristobal his team because we waited. We brought it up multiple times. Okay, this is the game where we're going to Cristobal. They never did.
Never did.
And that final game, he didn't do anything questionable, I don't think, in that game. The problem I have with them is he recruited a crap ton of talent on the O-line and the D-line. A lot of those guys left. So we'll have to see how deep that talent is because both of those units are pretty heavily affected. But yeah, Pete said they'll get in the playoffs. He's right. It's the ACC. That schedule is trash. I mean, they'll win 10 games by accident. But if they don't get
the ACC, Darren, come on.
Well, I've heard that rumor, but hey, they were in the finals, unlike the SEC. So
that's right.
It doesn't ignore there, but that's how they dominated their games. If you watch any of their games, I mean, they won by running the ball. Yes, Mark Fletcher's back, but what kind of line is he going to run against? Malachi Tony's back. So he can have time to do what he does if that offensive line can't protect Mensah. I like Mensah just because of mobility. If that O line does not come together quickly, he can still make some things happen. I'm not sure Carson Beck could do that. But yeah, I'm not going to bet them. I think, like what Tim said, they start to play a deeper team that they might actually get exposed there. So they'll get in because of the conference they're in and their terrible schedule. Of course, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm bashing schedules. But yeah, they'll get in, but I don't want any part of them.
No.
All right. Now let's get on the lane train.
Oh,
LSU, baby.
Oh, yeah.
13-1 at DraftKings, 15-1 at FanDuel. Tim, we're going to let you go first because Pete and I.
Yes.
Pants are coming on.
He is back. He could not reach a contract with the Shah of Iran, so he is not the new Ayatollah. He is going to stay put in LSU for a little bit.
Well, he should be. He
should be. Obviously, explosive potential on this team. If the defense comes together, it's a very interesting bet here. A whole new NIL commitment from the team. I think someone reported upwards of 20 to 25 million a year. This team is going to be kind of like Ohio State in the years to come. I do not have a bet, but I hear someone else does. So, Darren, why don't you take it away?
I'll go quick. I don't have any concerns with the defense. I think the best thing they did was keep their defensive coordinator. I think defensively they're going to be fine. They were fine last year. I don't see why that should change. My concern is with the offensive side of the ball. They've got a lot of quality pieces. I mean, Sam Levitt, obviously the biggest one. Jordan Seaton, that offensive lineman from Colorado, being another gigantic one. You know, they kept both their running backs, but the O-line was terrible. So the O-line looks like it's definitely improved. It all is going to determine how quickly this offense comes together. And you look at that schedule right there. September is not a time when you need offensive questions. All right, I get they're double-digit favorites against Clemson, but it's still Clemson. And then you got Ole Miss. Something tells me that game might be on TV. I don't know.
It might be.
Maybe you get it on the SEC network, Channel 4, whatever. And then A&M right after that. So, I mean, yeah, I've got some bets here, and I know somebody else in this room does. This ticket could be in the trash by the end of September. But, you know, the schedule's not – I mean, for an SEC schedule, it's not all. They get A&M at home. They get Bama at home. They get Texas at home. They do get Clemson at home, even though it's not a conference game. The only tough road game should be Ole Miss and Tennessee. And, you know, who knows what those guys are going to – I mean, apparently it's still up in the air whether Trinidad Chambliss even going to play or not. I guess the NCAA sued to try and kick him back out of school again. So, I don't know. But the offense comes together. This team will be in the playoffs, and we can worry about hedging our bets if necessary. But, yeah, we talked about also how to build your bankroll. Look at those profit boots. Futures bets are perfect for profit boosts if they're available on any app because you can take a small amount of money, which is usually what they limit you to, and you can even add those odds. I got a 20% boost here. It's why it's like, wow, how'd you get 1,800 when the odds are 1,500? This is how I use my profit boost. So I do have a half unit on LSU to win it all at 18-1. Pete?
Man, I could talk about LSU for an hour. This is the most fascinating team on the board, man, because you're not betting on what they were. You're betting on Lane, right, and what it can do with this team going forward, right? So he clearly elevates the offense immediately, right? This is a number one portal class. If you look at the talent they brought in, this is a number one class. So they have elite skill talent that was already in place along with the portal class they brought in, right? So Lane scheme, talent in place, explosive offense that can win playoff games, period, right? High and upside, no question about that. So what the hell are the concerns, right? So year one, right? So bringing any coach in, new system, all that, obviously it's an issue. Could be an issue, who knows? Defensive consistency is going to be a challenge, right? High roster turnover could be a challenge. SEC, schedule could be a challenge. But this is a major transformation for this program. And really, I mean, the upside is just the upside could be incredible, right? So, I mean, there's a lot that could be happening here. So this is not a rebuild. This is a system upgrade. From that perspective, it's very intriguing. They have the most impactful portal class in the country, as I mentioned already. The offensive ceiling, this is national title level offensive ceiling, especially if you mentioned quarterback and all that. I mean, it's my only concern. Well, I have two concerns, right? Number one is the turnover, right? Just bringing in a new system. The second is the defense, or the defensive reality. If you can get past those two things, I mean, this team should be really, really good. So, with the number they're at, I mean, it's a really, really good bet. Was it 15-1? I mean, without the boost, it's like 15-1 right now. I mean, that's a really good number for a team of this quality, with this much depth, with a coach of this caliber. Like, you don't get that often. To me, it's a no-brainer. So I love it. So I'm certainly all in on this bet because I think the upside is amazing. Now, could it implode somehow? Perhaps, but I don't see that happening. I think this is the place where Lane should be. I think it's the place he should have been for some time. The fan base has immediately embraced the guy. So I think there's a lot of very positive things coming out of this. So I'm excited for him and them and the whole thing. And so I'm all in. So this is one of my two bets is LSU all day long. So yeah.
Let me just put one of those concerns of yours to ease it just a tad, and then we'll move on. That's about the turnover. Well, the head coach and the OC both came from the same school. So there's familiarity there. And remember, that's a team that won 10 games the last 3 years. And what was a big part of that team? Guys like Jackson Dart, Trinidad Chambliss. You know who's got that same skill set? Sam Levitt. So
I know. It's the rest of the players.
I know. But my hope is that because of that, it comes together quicker than we're hoping.
It's the rest of the players. I get it, right? If they get all on board, it could be amazing. We could see some fireworks immediately, which would be awesome. Right.
Yeah, I don't like that they're starting against Clemson, though. But if they come out and cover the spread against Clemson, I'll feel a lot better. But
yes.
Anyway, all right, let's go to Texas for the last two here. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, 15-1 at DK, 60-1 at FanDuel. I will start here because I don't have a whole lot. This team was a defensive powerhouse, but offensively they really struggled with, was it Baron Morton, I believe, was their quarterback. Well, they got possibly the best quarterback in the portal, depending on who you read, and Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati. So while their offense will improve, I have a few questions about their defense just because they lost David Bailey. They lost Lee Hunter. They lost Jacob Rodriguez. All these guys are going to the NFL. They need to be replaced. if they replace them with quality talent, this team's going to – I mean, they're already like a minus 115 favorite to win the Big 12. Like nobody else is like better than 7-1. So that already tells you this should be a playoff team without even breaking too much of a sweat here. I like them. Their schedule is cake, but then again, it's the Big 12. It doesn't seem like anybody's going to challenge them here. So, again, as long as this offense gels, they kept their running back room intact. And again, Sorsby, if he can get on the same page with receivers quick, just like LSU. Yeah, I mean, they're one of two teams whose over-under win total is 11.5. Notre Dame being the other. So, should easily be a playoff team, barring some injuries to Sorsby and maybe a few other people, but I like them. Pete, what do you think about the Red Raiders?
I think they're intriguing, right? They were intriguing last year as well. Like the wheels came off a little bit late in the season, but they're intriguing. They spent a lot of money building this team, and I think it's a pretty good team. Can they step up in the big games? Yeah, we haven't seen that play itself out so much, but I would expect some explosive offense. Momentum. So yeah, I mean, I think if you were looking for forget my bet later, we'll talk about some other things, but like if you're looking for maybe not so much a surprise team, but a team that, they're a little slightly under the radar, kind of like a step or two down that could do something, if all the things go right and play out correctly. This could be one of those teams, right? I think they have a lot of things in place here that could work out well. Like the team, like the coaching. I like the offense. I think they're going to be high-powered. I'm not sure what the defense is going to do this year. I think it'll be good, but I don't know. So the question is, what do they do in big games? That's the big question. But I think this is a dangerous team. It is a team that I would not want to play in the playoffs because I think they can be very dangerous, and if properly motivated, can be a problem. And so from that perspective, yeah, they are interesting. I didn't bet them, but they are interesting. So do with that what you may.
Right. Well, Tim did something.
I did something with this.
Yeah, Tim, tell us why you love you some Red Raiders.
Well, what did I say at the beginning of the show? Quarterback. They got the Cincinnati kid there. The shout out Steve McQueen. He's coming in. That's a definite upgrade at the position. I'm not too worried about the defense. They're going to find people. It's Texas. Texas is just like Miami, and they've got plenty of oil money to throw around. The offense is going to be very explosive. I'm looking at this schedule, and unless if the win total is 12.5, I'm going to bet the over on this win total as well. So I don't see a loss on this schedule at all. So they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be there at the end.
Yeah.
16-1. So let me put up the thing here. I got my bet here. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders plus 1,600, and that was on Hard Rock Bet. That's it from me. Plain and simple. They got the quarterback.
All right. Last team we're breaking down. Let's look at the team that Tim kicked to the curb.
I was close to betting these guys again.
And then decided, you know what? I found a shinier new toy in Texas. A&M, or Marcel Reed and the Aggies, disowned by Tim. Pete, can you give the Aggie backers some support here, or was Tim right to hop off the bandwagon?
I mean, I came in today expecting Tim to be talking about Texas A&M. So Texas Tech is fine and all, and they will get in the playoff, but what do they do there is the question, right? They're going to get in, but what do they do? Texas A&M is intriguing, right? Because I think they will also get in. They are a quiet contender. They have strong talent. Their talent base is excellent. Their defense is a big positive. Continuity, I think their path through the SEC is positive this year. Their depth is very good. Their recruiting is very good. What are the issues with A&M? I'm guessing because Tim was kind of talking about A&M a couple weeks ago, and I'm guessing what would scare him away from them is potentially the quarterback play, maybe. Right, and the offensive inconsistency, because that would be my biggest concerns with this team. right? QB and the offensive inconsistency, right? So to me, that's their biggest issue. So that said, right, this team, if they make the playoff, which I think they will, is a dangerous team, right? I mean, if they can get the QB play to be reasonably good, the rest of the team, the depth, everything else is pretty solid. They could be a concerning team, another team that I would be a little hesitant to play. So I think they're a good team. I don't think they're a real major threat to win the Natty, but then again, if they get the right path, if the QB play steps up, maybe. But yeah, I would not bet on them to win the whole thing. But then again, they're a team that has enough depth where if suddenly the QB is like shooting the lights out or something, they absolutely could. So who knows?
D.
All right. Well, we haven't had many disagreements here, but I'm going to disagree. I don't think this is a playoff team. I mean, just looking at that schedule right there, yes, they only have 5 road games, but LSU, Missouri, Bama, South Carolina, and Oklahoma, those are all losable. Those are all easily losable. And we talked about Julian saying at the start of the show about, hey, he did great against the teams he was supposed to do great against, but not when, he went against some solid teams. Marcel Reed is the same guy. And he needs to improve for this team to, I think, make the playoffs. I mean, I think losing Casey Concepcion is going to hurt. They lost a key contributor on each of the 3 groups on the defense. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule while Pete's talking, and when he said playoff team, I'm like, oh, good. We finally get to disagree once on this show on something besides Darian Menza. I don't see it, man. I mean, yeah, now Marcel Reed could improve and be that guy, but that is not.
It's tough. No.
That's a tough schedule. So
But if they do,
yeah, no, you're right.
Issue wasn't with the quarterback.
Right?
I mean, Marcel Reed's my guy, but I'm sure when we get to the Heisman show, we'll be talking about him again. He has another year under his belt. But my concern was all the other things. I know Elko coaches the defense, but they lost players all over the defense. They lost a running back. Yeah, he's going to be in the NFL. They lost Concepcion. He's going to be a first-round pick. So
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. Yeah.
And again, one of 2 teams we're talking about tonight have to replace both coordinators.
Yeah, it's tough.
And now Marcel Reed's got to learn a new system.
I'm sure it'll be the same system. They got to find somebody else.
Well, they got Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech, so I mean, they definitely got themselves a good one. But yeah, I don't think this is a playoff team.
Well, those are the top. Yeah, here we go. Those were the top, the 10 of according to FanDuel and DraftKings. Let's talk a couple long shots.
Let's go
Darren,
crazy, Pete.
You've got a weird one here. Piqued my interest. Let's hear it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, so I threw yesterday, I think, because I was talking to Tim on a Tuesday night, and they were 100 to 1. I didn't bet anything, and then we were putting these graphics in order, and I was taking a look at the odds, and I'm like, ooh, they went up to 125 to 1. And then the next day I messaged him, Tim, we're going to need a graphic for BYU because I just bet them to win it all. We talked about shopping around, especially in futures markets. DraftKings, BYU is currently sitting at plus 7,000. At FanDuel, BetMGM, they're sitting at plus 8,000. At FanDuel, they're at plus 12,500. That's an insane discrepancy. This is partially a number play. 125 to 1 is incredibly juicy. Let's remember, Indiana was 100 to 1 preseason last year. But if you just look at this team, I mean, defensively, this team is always solid. They don't lose a lot of players to the NFL. They brought in Cade Ulave, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, linebacker from Cal, who had like 97 tackles last year, so he's probably going to help anchor that defense. I mean, playing in BYU with that elevation, not the easiest place to go in and come out with a win. Their running back, LJ Martin, is back, and Tim's favorite player, number 47, Bear Bachmeier, his first year was really, really good, and this guy didn't even show up on the campus till June, so he missed all of spring practice. And still, if it wasn't for Texas Tech, they'd have been undefeated and a playoff team. So looking at the schedule, I mean, they go to TCU. Maybe that's their toughest road game, but there's no Josh Hoover. They host Arizona. They host Arizona State. They do host Notre Dame in October. That'll be interesting. And while that won't affect the Big 12 title, the team they had the most trouble with, Texas Tech, they had 2 losses last year, both to Tech. Texas Tech's not on the schedule. Everybody's trendy pick for this conference, Houston, is also not on the schedule. So at this number, I certainly see a scenario where they could be in the Big 12 title game. I mean, you play that extra conference game, maybe the committee gives you a look. Remember, they were one of the teams that some people thought, hey, they should have been in. But, didn't get in. So maybe they get a little payback this year, but I don't know. Maybe the number's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it is ridiculous. But this is a team. They got a solid quarterback play. They got a solid running game. They got a solid defense. They play in a place that's tough to win if you're a visiting team. At this number, I just could not bet it. So
Why not?
I have a half unit on BYU to win it all at 125-1. Tell me I'm crazy, guys. I'm fine with it.
You're crazy, but we love it. So it's great.
That's not a bad bet, really. I mean, that's possible. That's not a bad bet.
So, well, we got Saratoga Ray chiming in. He's all over Kansas State this year. Kansas State for the Big 12.
The head coaching move they made.
I do.
So,
I like
Peter,
it.
you've got a long shot here, don't you?
I do. Where's my
Hold it
slide?
up. Oh, there it is.
All right, people, hear me now, believe me later. All right, so Oklahoma is my bet. So this is a blue blood program, right? Strong recruiting base. Continuity and roster. So QB upside is there's a lot of upside with that QB position. So defense is trending upward. So it's been a little bit of an issue, but I think it's trending upward. Favorable path versus SEC teams. So I mean, I think at what is it, 35-1? Obviously, it's a bit of a long shot here, but I like to play 2 things. Darren asked way back at the beginning of this pod, right? How do we look at teams? How do we think about what we're doing? I generally look at 2 things, right? Number 1, I'm looking for a team that I think absolutely has a clear path to win that is in a reasonable betting position, right? That's Lane, that's LSU. I also look for another team that if things play out properly and they're a little bit longer odds, could actually make a reasonable run at winning the Natty. And that's where Oklahoma falls in here, right? This is a really good team, a blue blood program, quality talent across the board. And what they really need is quality quarterback play. If they get quality quarterback play and consistently, this is a team that can beat anybody anytime. And I truly believe that. So that's what I'm looking for here with this team. I'm not betting on them because they're the best team. I'm betting on the number because at 35-1, this is a team that can match up with anybody anytime, right? So I do believe they can beat, some of these other teams, all these other teams that we talked about in the right circumstances at the right time. And because of that, I believe that there is potential here for them to get in the playoff and roll through. It's not high potential, but there is potential here. So I do like this team. I do like the structure. I do like their depth. And I think if that quarterback play steps up, I think there is a lot of potential here. So that's why I'm playing this team. And I'm excited at the 35-1. They could pay back very nicely. So I'm doing a full unit on Oklahoma, 35-1, to have a chance to bring me some scratch.
I love that. I mean, let's remember, Mateer was kicking ass before he got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, that defense can hang with that. Their schedule's not terrible either. I mean, if they get through their first 5 games, I think they go to Michigan, they go to Georgia, and then they host Texas mid-October. But after that, they could easily run that. Easily.
Wow. Good team. I like this team.
I do too.
All right. Any final thoughts on the show before we wrap it up?
No, this is fun. There's some really good teams here to talk about. So this is a lot of fun.
We're back. Let's wrap this up. All right. Darren, why don't you go first? I got you on.
All right, man. I got a couple of half-unit plays here. LSU at 18-1. Profit boosted. Shout out to BetMGM for giving me that in the middle of a random January. And I think this is a decent play at the number. Half unit on BYU to win the whole thing at 125-1.
Okay, and I've got 1 unit on Texas Tech plus 1,600. That's my only bet. I was boring, did not do a long shot this year. Peter.
I am on the lane train with Darren, LSU plus 1,500, and I just talked about my Oklahoma bet. I think if things play out well, this is a team that could actually make a run. So plus 3,500. So great to have you all here.
Thank you to everybody for watching along with us. Thanks for those who left a comment. We're back into the swing of things. We'll be back in a couple weeks with our first of our conference previews. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a good review on Spotify if you're listening there too. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.